Welcome to the Body Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Broke Rider Dave. With me, like always, Chris Thomas.
You didn't ask for permission to speak this time, but I'll let it slide. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
yeah.
Just kidding. Hey, what's good, everybody? So, yeah,
We are on our second movie review of the season.
short season, because I'm dividing the season into seasons.
Yeah, into the short season number one. And we had an interesting movie.
I had come up with seasons for different things that I wanted to do this season, and the first season was really just kind of like the one I hadn't put much thought into. So I was like, Season of the Witch. And after watching both of our picks, I was like, well, we kind of went with witch in a different kind of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have a lot to say about it because I even texted you saying I got words to say. I was actually a little shocked that this was a pick from you, but I'll go into that in a little bit. But we do have,
yeah, like I said, it's a movie I haven't seen. I just kind of looked it up. I was like, that seems interesting.
Okay.
Let's go with it.
And you saw who it was directed by, and you were like, okay.
Yeah, like Ty West, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't watched Pearl.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I did like X.
And I liked what he did in VHS, so it's like, I had faith in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could tell this is his earlier work.
Yeah, but before we delve too much into it, I do believe we did have homework, though.
We did have some homework.
Now, I was trying to determine, should I even bother trying to give Dave good stuff anymore, or should I just give him, because he doesn't like my picks. Because he doesn't like my picks, but, well, we'll see. How about you just start it off first?
All right. So I'm going to have to set the mood for this first, because you assigned me Paranorman.
Yeah, I thought a nice light little, I don't think we did a, family horror-ish type thing, so I thought it was a nice light little family one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I put myself in the best mood to watch this movie.
And you still hated it.
No. But, right before the movie I watched before Paranorman, I watched Where Evil Lurks, which is...
That's on my list because I hear that that's, one of the best movies this season, or this year, or of the past year.
Yeah, 2023. It was really good, but it's a rough watch.
I heard that all I heard, well, it wasn't something I had ever seen trailers for, but I had started hearing about it from other reviewers saying that it was a really good movie.
Yeah, an Argentinian possession film, and it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of needed a light movie to kind of cleanse the palate afterwards.
Oh, so I guess that was a good pick then.
Yeah. So I ended up going right into Paranorman, and I enjoyed it. I think if I was saw in my younger days, I'd probably love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But as an adult, yeah.
I still like those made for kids type stuff like Coraline and Nightmare Before Christmas. I still have a soft spot for them.
Yeah. And I think it's just the ones you see when you're a kid. You always have that nostalgia love for, and you like them even more.
Well, you want to tell people what Paranorman is?
Paranorman is a stop-motion film that follows Norman Babcock, who is an 11-year-old boy who has the ability to speak to the dead.
Yep.
And he's kind of like an outcast because no one around him understands him.
He's just a weird kid.
Yeah, everyone thinks he's weird. They think he's making it up for attention, or he's just having a psychotic break.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing his folks who are
yeah, his dad just wants nothing to do with it. He's like, stop saying you're speaking to grandma. She's dead. All right, she's dead.
What a way to speak to your kid.
Yeah.
Just he's 11. Let him.
Yeah.
Just let him. Oh, did you peep your boy McLovin?
Yeah. McLovin's one of the voices in this movie.
That was one of the reasons I suggested. I was like, I know you had mentioned McLovin before, and I was like, and we've mentioned Superbad. Maybe you get a kick out of him being a bully this time.
Yeah, Superbad was our basically our high school movie for our age.
Or American Pie.
Yeah. But yeah, and he's just kind of a loner, but slowly gets befriended by the also overweight loner kid at school.
There's one in every kids thing. There's always the even dorkier overweight friend apparently.
Yeah. And they slowly start becoming friends. And then Norman's weird uncle comes out of nowhere. He's like, hey, I know your family says not to talk to me, but I have the same abilities you do.
Yeah, he's the weird uncle.
Yeah, it's going to be up to you to stop the witch from raising the dead this year, because
Huh?
I'm about to die. And then he dies. And then explains to her, he's like, you got to go to her grave and you got to read from this book.
And he's like, "What are you talking about? This is a
Yeah.
small town where they have like local legends of like the local witch who died from like the Salem witch trials, and
Yeah.
kind of like your Hocus Pocus, where it's like the Sanderson sisters. It's a legend every year."
Yeah. And it's up to Norman to stop the witch. So he goes, gets his book, and he goes to where he thinks the witch's grave's at, starts reading from it.
Hmm.
Oh, that's not where the witch is at. That's where these 7 people who, prosecuted and killed the witch are buried at.
The judges.
Yeah. So they all get raised from the dead. And, now you got zombies on the loose.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Now there's zombies on the loose.
Yeah, and I mean, these zombies are just kind of incompetent.
They're your typical brainless, like running around kind of zombies, like. And meanwhile, throughout the town, like clouds are forming, like something ominous is on the horizon.
Yeah, and the townspeople slowly start to realize they're zombies, which causes chaos, and the townsfolk themselves kind of destroy their own city.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah, basically.
I think at this point, like Norman has like allied himself with. He has his friend,
His friend, his older sister, and his friend's older brother.
and I think
That's kind of like their group. And
the bully.
the bully, yeah, because the bully followed him to the graves to make fun of him for reading it. And he just happened to be there when the zombies came up. And he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, Norman doesn't know what's going on right now. He's just been
Yeah.
told like do something about this witch, and now his uncle died, and now there's zombies everywhere. If it sounds disjointed, it's because this is all being presented like just as he's experiencing it.
Yeah. And they're all like, Norman, what do we do? He's like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it's like everybody wants nothing to do with me, and then now all this stuff is happening, and like they're thrusting all this responsibility on me. Like,
Yeah. And, Norman kind of ends up in kind of like a different dimension where he gets to see the past and sees the witch that they prosecuted.
Yeah, he taps into his shining.
Yeah, was a little girl.
Yeah, this entity that's like causing all this like havoc, like raising the zombies and everything like that. Those judges, like, yeah.
Is a girl his own age, which I'm guessing is like one of his like relatives.
Is it Abigail or Agnes, or I think it started with an A or something like that. That was the witch's name. Now that was something that I even right now I'm not sure of if they were like related or if it was just that they just shared like this ability. And it was like
Agatha Aggie Prendergast.
Yes. Oh, Pendergast. Then yes. Then
is the same last name as his uncle, so I'm assuming that they're somewhat related.
Okay, that was the thing where like it's been a little bit since I watched like the movie, so I was like, oh yeah, I didn't remember if they were related or if they were just like we're family because we have this common gift kind of thing.
Well, it's something you have to put together yourself because they don't address it at all in the movie, other than
I do remember seeing that was like that old guy being named Pendergast, and so was her, but I was like, coincidence? Probably not.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So Norman kind of tears into the zombies, like, really? That's a little girl you guys killed. What's wrong with you guys?
And it turns out like Norman can understand the zombies.
And they're just like, we were scared. She was talking to dead people.
Yeah,
that's like I could talk to dead people. Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting, like, just like these zombies are. It was like these zombies aren't the bad guys, but they technically are bad guys because of what they did.
They are bad guys, but now they're kind of the victims.
They're being kept alive, like via torment for doing this to this little girl.
Yeah.
I guess they're not allowed to like cross over.
Yeah. And Norman's like, screw it, I'm gonna try to talk to this witch, and she goes crazy. So as Norman and his family are driving to her grave, they get to the forest, and roots and everything are coming out trying to impale him.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally gets to her, where it takes a while. It's a good 5-6 minute scene where he's just trying to reach her on a personal level.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get spoken.
She's not hearing none of it because it's been 700 years. Her humanity is basically almost all gone at this point. But she's like, you don't understand what it's like. He's like, yes, I do. I mean, I've been painted as an outcast in this town too because of my abilities.
I mean, they didn't kill me, but I mean,
Yeah,
but yeah, I know what
yeah,
you feel.
yeah. And he eventually reaches her, and everything calms down.
Zombies get laid to rest.
Zombies finally get to find their peace. Aggie finds her peace.
Even the dad is like, "All right, son, I'll accept you."
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah. Good job, Norman. Yeah.
And now I'm gonna go back to neglecting you.
Yeah. And that's the movie.
That's Paranorman.
Paranorman. A lighthearted. It's a good gateway horror movie.
This is something that I would have recommended to like Christopher Frost for his kids.
Yeah, if you're gonna show a horror movie to kids, this is a good one.
Has a little bit of edge to it, like talk about death, but nothing like too. It's not too kiddish. I think even like adults will be like, it's nice little background stuff.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Yeah.
So just a quick breakdown, I guess.
All right. So technicals, it being like that creepy stop motion type animation, I enjoy that. It does take a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay.
And then story, I mean, there's times where the story's kind of a little disjointed.
A little bit sometimes.
Yeah, but still pretty good. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay.
And then enjoyment, I'm going to give it.
Be honest.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
It's cool. It's fine. Like I knew it wasn't gonna like blow you out of the water, but I needed a safe little buffer thing for you to actually like. My best bets right now are to be like, all right, hopefully I can give you a couple of buffers in between the ones you don't like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a nice light one.
Yeah. So overall, 20 out of 30. So pretty good.
I'll take that over you hating it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, over in my neck of the woods, I had a continuation.
Yeah.
Hell House.
Number 2. Yeah.
Hell House number 2. All right. How about I just go ahead and start from the top?
Yeah.
It's I don't know if it was a year or a couple of years later. I think it was a year after the events of the first documentary, which left only one survivor, the guy who was left behind, who didn't enter the Hell House at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
He is well. It's been a year later. He's alive still. And yet another journalist has come along wanting to know the secrets of the Hell House.
Yeah.
We have Jessica Fox. I think her name is Jessica Fox.
I believe so, yeah.
Jessica Fox. Well, Mitchell is the survivor of the first movie.
Yeah.
He starts off on this TV program who's basically, it's him, one other guy who's like a skeptic slash saying that the Hell House is a hoax kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have Mitchell, who's the survivor, and then you had a clairvoyant medium guy on this show.
Yeah, psychic, yeah.
Mitchell's like, hey, look, I was there. I didn't go there, but I saw the footage. Do not go in there.
Yeah.
The medium, which I forget his name, but he's like, no, I need to do this. I need Hell House, is calling to me. He's doing this for publicity, obviously.
Yeah.
Long story short, Jessica Fox runs a blog all about the Hell House thing. She gets in contact with Mitchell, convinces him begrudgingly, get us into Hell House, which I don't know why she needed him to get into Hell House because he stayed behind. So I forget why she needed him to get to Hell House or why it was necessary. Maybe he had footage that she wanted for the blog, I guess, maybe, or she used his resources. I don't know.
Like he has footage of everything inside the Abaddon Hotel, so he knows how to navigate it.
Okay. But he's never been in it himself. So she's like, I think it was, I don't know if it was money or if it was, he wanted to know what happened to his old co-anchor woman, whatever Graves. What was her first name? Something, Danica Graves or Dana Graves or something like that from the first one.
Yeah, Diana Graves.
Graves. Because he also has the thing of like, he must have had some feelings for her or something because like, he's also holding on to this, I can't believe what happened to her kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, we have a camera crew, we have a camera guy, and I guess his girlfriend is along for some reason. We have Jessica Fox, and we have Mitchell. They all go to the Abaddon Hotel and run into, look who it is, it's the medium.
Brock Davies and his cameraman, yeah.
Yeah, when Brock was introduced, I was like, we're not going to be stuck with this guy, are we? Like I know that he's meant to be like this douchey, like whatever, but I was like, but he gets off quickly.
Yeah.
He gets off quickly. He goes because he thinks it's all bullshit anyway. You can tell this dude's in it for a paycheck, and he's just being there for like I'm a mystic and can talk to. He's like John Edwards.
Yeah.
And him and his cameraman go off to one side, and this is where I had a question. I was like, how often can you get away with doing the same kind of scares? This is also mostly found footage.
Yeah.
And it's usually rinse, lather, repeat. Same with the last one where it was like they see something, we see them react to it, then we get a small glimpse of it.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to somewhere else. And I saw a whole movie, the last time of that. At the halfway point, at this point, I'm like, they keep doing this. But fuck it, I'm still engaged. I still want to know what happens. I still it's still not old to me for some reason. I'm still I'm still here. I'm still with it. It's not annoying me yet.
Yeah.
So that's giving away some of my stuff right now. I'm giving away my thoughts on it for the end, but I want to know what fucking happens in this thing. What's his name? Brock?
The psychic?
Yeah, Brock.
Yeah.
Brock and his cameraman catch some footage of some mannequins that were same as last time. Those mannequins weren't supposed to be looking like that. And then some nooses fall from the sky, and then another. Things are a lot more fast paced in this movie.
Yeah.
Like in the first movie, it was very, very slow. Maybe a little bit of a movement there, or just a little bit of was that like this. This one, they're like, no, you see shit move.
Yeah.
And Brock and his cameraman done. They're dead.
Yeah.
We're back to Mitchell, Jessica, Molly, and the camera guy. Do you remember the camera guy's name?
I think his name was I have it up. David.
Okay, and David, which it baffles me. I don't know why he brought his girlfriend along with him.
Yeah.
Also, I will say this. No, I'll say it at the end. I'll save it for my criticism at the end. Oh yeah, I think I also said at this point I stopped feeling bad for the victims because it's been I don't know how many years, and the Abaddon has been around for 30, and you're still going inside Hell House.
Yeah.
That's on you. Okay. All right. So Mitchell, everybody else is like, all right, this is somehow, this is what happens. They're going through old tapes and stuff like that. They hear Molly, who was supposed to be out at the car,
she's supposed to be lookout. Yeah.
They hear her on the radio. Molly, what are you doing in here? She said, you guys called me. I'm inside the house. So, damn it, camera guy, what's his name? David goes to get see Molly. He's like, yeah, we didn't call you. And she's freaking out. And Mitchell hears this commotion, and he's like, fuck this, we're out here. We're leaving. We're going out of here right now. Leave.
Because they were in the basement. They were looking for files and documents about the original owner.
Which they're
totally something, yeah.
They're going through it. Say you can grab this. I was like, just grab the boxes and go.
You're right.
They're sorting through boxes and going this can come with us. And look, there's 3 or 4 boxes. Just grab a box each and get out of here.
Yeah.
But Mitchell gets one whiff of this and he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
He's like, we need to go. Yeah.
Jessica's like, no, you're overreacting. You're like, yeah. They try the front door. It's locked. They try to call for help. No reception. And they're getting basically stalked through the house by the big clown mannequin.
Yeah.
They come across the medium and his cameraman hung on nooses. That's not doing anything for Molly's disposition. Yeah. she's already freaking out. All right, this is where I can bring this up. They come across some tapes of Alex from the first movie.
Yeah.
And the camera guy's going through it, and he's like, "You guys need to see this." And we want to see some video. This was probably the worst part of the movie for me. This old video of Alex talking to some mysterious man off screen, because it went from being found footage to this being very I don't know. Scripting regular dialogue or whatever like that is not this movie's strong suit. But basically, we just see Alex making a deal with the guy who was
Andrew Tully is the guy who owned the Abaddon Hotel. But it was basically led to believe that Alex had been inside that hotel before the events of the first one. So it was he had made it seem like he had never been in the hotel before. Yeah. We still don't know why in the first movie, apparently when you find out about it, you're not allowed to leave. That's not answered in this one, I don't think. Yeah. Maybe it'll be in the sequel. I don't know. What do you mean you're not allowed when you find out about it?
In the first one, when one of the guys found out, or he was getting ready to leave. It was the camera guy. He was ready to leave. And then someone, they talked to him, and then he's like, I can't leave. We can't leave. We still don't know why yet.
It's more of the house being haunted and trapping people in. than
anything. Is it just a thing where like if you set foot in the house, your soul is pretty much the house's?
Yeah.
Because I know Mitchell also made a big deal about like as to what door they came in.
Yeah.
And, anyway, so they see video of Alex talking to Tully. You know, at this point, I would just 1408 this thing and burn it. Like if I'm like four people are holed up in a room right now trying to get out, and like this place is haunted, I'm just gonna burn this place, burn it, and then find a way out. Like as the rubble is going, you know.
Yeah.
Molly, lights go out. Molly gets taken. Molly gets taken down. Is it to the basement? Down to the basement. And now is Mr. Tully the same guy who was all right? But they basically go to get Molly.
Yeah.
Well, cameraman's definitely not leaving her. And this is I'm sorry if I keep pausing because the movie keeps switching between like this interview that's going on and the events of the movie.
Yeah.
Was Tully the skeptic that was being interviewed? No,
Andrew Tully is the...
I know he's the owner who committed suicide.
But he was also... Yeah, he committed suicide, is already dead.
Yes.
But he also impersonated the
skeptic.
Yeah, he impersonated that guy.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
yeah.
So we are then introduced to Mr. Tully, who was inhabiting the body of the skeptic, like early on, as we find out that he basically, we're given some exposition. Basically, the haunted backstory of the hotel, the Abaddon, has never been closed. It's always open and it's hungry for new guests. And apparently, the only way is that you have to get the word out, which is why they have to at least leave one person alive to go and
suck some more people in.
It's
technically a gate to a portal to hell.
Yes. Which that wakes you up too, because at one point at one point when you find out that Jessica is dead.
Yeah.
At one point you find out Jessica is dead. You find out through this speech that Mitchell was given an ultimatum as to who got to leave the hotel. He didn't choose Jessica. You don't see it, but Jessica gets killed off screen, and much like in the first one, she was being interviewed by the police.
Yeah,
it's hard reviewing a movie like this just because it jumps around different points of time in three different ways. You have the interview, then you also have the actual events of the footage, then you have sometimes them watching the footage of stuff that happened even before then, and then you have the police talking to some. So I know I sound all jumbled up, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, but there's also an interview going on. Oh yes, and also this. So I apologize. We essentially are just left with, it turns out Jessica is really dead, told the police, yeah, you should go see. That's the one message everybody says, whoever does end up leaving the hotel, is you should go see it.
Yeah.
Go to the Abaddon Hotel. So yeah, I don't know how many of these movies they made, because I think this one was in 2018.
Yeah. There's two more after this one.
Is that my homework?
Yeah.
Yay. Sorry. I know I was all over the place, but I should probably rate it.
Yeah.
Technicals is the same as the last one, about a 7.
Yeah.
Found footage, mixture of found footage and mockumentary type stuff. Story. I don't know where you would go with a Hell House sequel. I don't know what you would do with a Hell House sequel, but it is
interesting.
It's interesting. It's not bad, but it's not great either.
Yeah.
Because it's like I do enjoy this kind of filmmaking and the way it's being told. I do like that it's like being told as a mockumentary.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, all right, we did this in the first movie. Is it just going to be the same, But for story, I still putting it about at a 7 because I still want to know.
Yeah.
And enjoyment is 7.5 because I do want to know how. Despite me thinking that I do think the first one was better paced.
Yeah.
The first one was definitely better paced. It was slow, and I liked that. This one is like
right out of the gate.
It's like, bitch, we already told you this place is haunted. We're gonna prove to you that this is haunted. But I don't know if I scored it higher or lower or about the same as the last one. But I am interested in knowing what's going on.
Okay.
7.5.
Okay, 21.5 out of 30. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Now we have to assign each other.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Now I have in my hand. All right. Do you have one off the top of your head? First off.
Yeah. Hell House 3.
Oh yeah, duh. Hell House 3 for me. All right. So I have in front of me a list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm about to see which one if I have to cross off. Have you seen In the Mouth of Madness?
That sounds familiar.
It's a John Carpenter movie. Sam Neill in it.
No, I haven't, but I remember you told me about this like a while ago and you've seen it.
All right, I'm giving you In the Mouth of Mad. I'm giving you In the Mouth of Madness because it's one that has a couple of things in it that you'll be like, oh, I've seen people put memes of that on like on Instagram of like this certain still shot. You'd be like, oh, that's where that's from.
Yeah.
And it's a John Carpenter joint. It's trippy. It's a little trippy. I mean, but I just think it's something to have in your repertoire.
Okay.
You won't be bored. I'll say that. At least I don't think so. And
That's good, yeah.
And I get to continue on with Hell House.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, I'm captivated. I want to know what happens. I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
And it happened in 2018, which was number 2. So I know it's limited in terms of how many came out. But now I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to talk about this. Your pick of the day.
Yeah, The House of the Devil, which was my pick because
You said you never saw it.
no, I just kind of was like, I'm just gonna go with the movie I haven't seen. Hopefully, it's good. Yeah.
I want to tell you, thank you for introducing me to my new Hollywood crush.
Yeah.
I like this Jocelyn Donahue as Samantha.
Has she done anything since then? Because I've never heard of her.
I don't know, but all I know is that when I was like, I don't know, I couldn't keep my eyes off this chick. I was like, it was like this chick is super cute to me. Actually, yes, she was because I did look it up. She was, and she's been in a couple things.
Yeah, I was Insidious 2.
Yeah.
I don't really remember her in that. Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, I had to look her up from Doctor Sleep. I guess she was one of the Rose the Hat's crew. Or no,
Yeah.
she was Abra's mom.
Lucy Stone, yeah. And she's also in I Trapped the Devil. I haven't seen that. So she's done some things.
Yeah, she's been in stuff.
Yeah.
But was this Ty West's first movie? Or he probably only did 1 or 2 others before this. Because this is 2009.
9, yeah.
So before X, before all that.
The Roost and Triggerman came before this.
That's it.
Yeah. So it's his 3rd movie. And then his 4th movie was Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever.
So you said you picked this just randomly? Because
Yeah.
I know I put you on the spot, like, we're doing witches. And you were like, all right, well, last time I took a shot in the dark, it was that Versus, and it was 2 movies that we both liked. So why not this one? Less about witches. I guess more so about cultism. I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm
More
down
about
for
the
it.
occult, yeah.
I put it all in the same category. But yeah.
This movie is a movie about a college student kind of struggling with her finances, and she's trying to get out of her dorm room.
Tired of her roommate constantly having sex and keeping her up.
Yeah, and she finds a really nice apartment, and the landlady is really nice. She's like, yeah, if you could just get me first month's rent by next week, place yours.
Wasn't asking for, she waived the security deposit. She was
just being super nice about it.
Like, you college kids, I know you need a place, and you seem nice.
Yeah. And then she's, talk to her friend. She's like, yeah, I only have like $50 in my bank account. I'm like,
why are you even looking for houses right now?
Yeah, like what? That threw me off. I'm like, why? How did you expect to pay for it and make enough money in a week to be able to pay?
How are you even like talking to real estate people right now? If like you're looking for like this is. I feel bad for saying that because it's like nothing against like people who are in the struggle, but you need to have something accumulated before you would ask them.
Yeah, and her friend is played by Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's interesting.
I was like, yeah.
I didn't realize she acted. I'm like, that's cool. All right.
Plays her ride or die friend.
Yeah. So she's searching on like the job board, and she just finds this flyer. It just says babysitter needed.
Babysitter needed, yeah.
And a phone number. She calls, and it's always like weird interactions of phone tag, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And she agrees to do it. And her other best friend's like, all right, I'm going to give you right there, and if it's weird, we're leaving.
You know who her friend reminded me of?
Who?
Who was the friend from TSA in Get Out? The one who saved him in the end?
Yeah.
That's who she reminded me of. Like, this ain't right. Like something ain't right about coming out here in the middle of nowhere and this is how creepy shit happens.
Yeah. And basically, like, she gets there, she finds out she isn't babysitting a child,
Nope.
but an elderly woman. And she's like, I don't know anything about doing that. And he's like, listen, she's gonna be upstairs sleeping. You ain't gonna have anything to do.
Just want to make sure that she just needs somebody here so she doesn't die.
Yeah. And he basically agrees to pay her $400.
At this, I just wanted to make a note. At this point, we all know as an audience that something is not going to be right, or else, it's a horror movie, or else nothing's going to happen. But if nothing has happened yet to make her think something's going to happen, so if just for the regular viewer, this woman is just strong arming this poor old man out of $400 to take care of his elderly mother. Like if you just saw this out of context, you'd be like, "Oh my god, this horrible witch! She just strong arming this poor old man to take care of his mother."
Yeah, but he is really insistent on taking his wife out on this night because there's a lunar eclipse.
Yes, it's never going to happen again.
Yeah. But Megan, her friend, was like, hey, we should probably just go. Yeah. That's weird as fuck. Yeah. But she's like, it's $400. She's like,
This is the security deposit and the rent and everything.
Yeah.
Which I was going to ask you, what's your price? You're offered a babysitting job. We'll switch it to, because I was going to say at this point, I like the movie, the style that it is shot in, because it is very good at making it look like it's like late 70s or early 80s.
Yeah, it does have that type of filter on it, yeah.
Which I was like, okay. Dave, you old sweetheart, you know I like my throwbacks. And then when I found out that it was a random pick, I was like, oh, that makes a little more sense. This pick makes a little more sense. But fuck, I was about to say something. Where was I going with this?
My price to do this babysitting job.
Yeah, what's your price? Like, of the stuff that's, like, what you know right now is what you're going in with. So, it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's at nighttime. It's going to be till at least midnight. And it's for what they say is, like, an elderly, like, woman, but you might not have to do anything, really. But you're getting vibes. What's your price where you're like, okay, I'll do it, before you're like, fuck this?
I mean, I'd probably do it for $400. Because at this point, it's like 8 o'clock at night. So you're getting $100 an hour.
Yeah.
Plus money for pizza, so...
$8 pizza, apparently.
Fuck, I didn't realize how bad inflation has gotten until I heard that. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It really is the 80s.
Yeah. I'd say about $400, yeah.
Yeah. I'm such a pushover, I'd probably do it for a lot less.
$30? I'm in.
$30? You seem like such a nice old man. I don't want to... And yet you're probably struggling to... sure, why not?
Yeah.
Oh! You mean I have to use the $30 you're giving me to pay for my own pizza? Okay.
Okay.
She finds out that it's a older woman, that it's a elderly woman that she has to take care of.
Yeah. And the guy goes upstairs and starts speaking to who you think is his wife.
Mm-hmm.
But then his wife comes out of the basement, starts talking with her.
Yeah. And both of them are talking like very weird, like kind of talking like she's not there in some aspects, where it's like everything is saying little things like things are ready, things are almost complete. It's just like weird things. And at this point, sorry.
Yeah, it's super weird, super awkward dialogue, but like, not like bad awkward. Like it's supposed to be awkward dialogue.
It's like, hey, they're older, and look, it's like they're strangers. I don't know what they're talking about. Like they could be referring to something else. Oh, at this point, Megan's already done driven away. Yeah,
Megan's gone, and she's driving through like the woods she has to get to the house, and she stops to light a cigarette. Her lighter won't work, and a guy shows up out of nowhere. It's like, you need a light? She's like, yeah. And then she thinks about it. She's like, where did you come from? Like, I was like, are you the babysitter for tonight? She's like, no.
At that point, that didn't trigger her at all. Like you're not the babysitter. Like, babysitter? That was for the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gets point blank shot in the face.
Yeah, boom. She's dead. I was like, God damn, that was kind of... Like, I knew that guy was going to kill her, but I wasn't expecting a gunshot out of nowhere.
40 minutes in, nothing's happened. And then all of a sudden, boom! Because I think it was about 40 minutes. It's a very slow getting going. It's a very slow movie.
But if you think back into X, you don't get the first kill till you're like 45 minutes into the movie either.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so
I mean, Candyman isn't shown until 45 minutes in. I mean, so I'm not criticizing. I'm just thinking if you're not into slow things, that'll wake you up.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there like, all right, then boom.
Just out of okay, all right. Business is about to pick up.
Meanwhile, back at the manor.
Sam, I think it's the girl's name.
Sam, yeah.
Yeah, she's just kind of chilling, hanging out.
You know, I know
she orders a pizza. And...
I know she's a future victim, but she's also kind of a shitty babysitter. We see her for the next like 15 minutes, just like in the house,
dancing around, snooping around the house.
Yeah, I was like, you know, she's a pretty. What did I put? I said she's a pretty shitty babysitter. I mean, I know that she's the victim, but she's like going through their desk drawers, dancing around, breaking stuff, putting her feet up on the table instead of on my face. You know, she's not a good babysitter.
Yeah.
That was a little joke because I said she was hot.
And then as she's snooping around, kind of goes sideways.
As they often do.
Because she's finding like these pictures of a family that aren't the family she's babysitting for. It's kind of like, what?
It wasn't like a different car too. Like
no, it was the car that they
had, but a different family.
Yeah, the Volvo she saw outside.
Yeah,
it's a different family, same car, same house. Just like, what?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have thought of anything of it. Like that's the kind of thing where you see it and you're like, oh, that's a little weird, but then you think, oh, their family's probably like just not here right now or something, or
yeah. And then she starts hearing noises, so she, calls 911, and then she's like, no, I'm sorry, it was an accident. And she's walking around the house with the knife. Pizza gets there, she just kind of throws the money at him and snatches the pizza. I was like, oh, that's kind of rude, but also probably.
Also a sweet tip for the dude.
What? Also smart, because the guy delivering the pizza was the guy who shot her friend in the head.
Yeah, find that out. Yeah, and if it wasn't for the fact that we saw Megan's get shot, this would be a pretty good movie about like just how we all feel about being in a person's place who we just make ourselves like scared. Like this, in a different movie, this would be a cool thing about us just making our own self scared over something that ain't even like happening really.
Yeah, and guess what happened with that pizza?
It got cold.
It was drugged.
Yeah, it
was drugged, so she passes out.
But she passes out when the electricity goes out, and she goes up to. She was going upstairs. I think she heard something upstairs and saw somebody creeping around upstairs.
Yeah, and then she passes out. Comes to at like the time of the lunar eclipse, tied up on the basement floor.
This is the second part of the movie that'll wake you up if you were sleeping.
Yeah, in the center of a pentagram with the husband and wife she was babysitting for, with their son.
Guy who shot Megan.
Yeah, and also the mother she was supposed to be babysitting for, which is kind of like, you don't see much, but she's kind of like a gross looking...
Witch looking.
Yeah, there's your witch. And they start doing the ritual, forcing Sam to drink blood. It's pretty gross. Then Sam escapes. She kills a couple of them. She gets out of the house, just running for her life. And she's getting ready to shoot Miss Ullman. And he's like, No. You've already been chosen. You've been accepted.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Whether you shoot me or not, it's not going to change anything. So Sam's like, you know what? Fuck this. She shoots herself in the head. Which
is funny because as he's chasing, if he's like, it doesn't matter if you shoot me or like it's all complete, I'd be like, then why are you chasing me then?
Yeah.
If it doesn't matter, why are you chasing me? Yeah, and she shoots herself.
Yeah. Which takes us to the end of the movie with Sam laying in the hospital bed and in a coma, and the nurse is like, she's gonna be alright. Both of them will be fine, and kind of touches her stomach.
Dun dun dun.
Implying that she has a baby in there. Yeah.
She is with child.
With child.
That's how it ends.
That is the end.
All right, Dave. Now I'm anxious to hear your thoughts.
This movie's kind of average.
Because this is the first time I've had some. I think that's why I'm fascinated right now, is because you recommended this, but as you explain it, you're explaining it with such unenthusiasm. I'm like, eh.
Like, it's not a bad movie, but it's not one I'm gonna go out of my way to ever see again.
It's just really funny because as I'm sitting here watching, I'm like, I guess Dave does kind of get me because I'm digging this old filter. I'm digging the slow build. I was like, oh, Dave really is getting to kind of know me a little bit. I was like, I'm really digging the slow build and this like nothing's happening, but like it did something happen kind of thing. I was like, oh, Dave. But then when it's the second that you said it was a random pick, it was like that all makes sense now. It all makes a whole lot more sense because this doesn't seem like something Dave would recommend.
Yeah, I saw the movie, saw the title, saw the director. I'm like, all right, I can deal with that.
This is great. When you were watching it, were you like, I bet you Chris is liking this?
I was like, kind of flipped the coin. I was like, he's either gonna really hate this movie or he's really gonna love it.
When I wasn't sure that I had the right movie on at first because I was like, what's with this? Why does it look? Did I get? Is this a remake? Because the movie looks like it was made in like 1976 or something.
Yeah, it's a movie like was made in 2009. It looks like it was made in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I saw, no, I got the right movie. I was like, oh, this is an intentional style choice. I'm like, oh, I'm here for this. I like this. I like this old film. I was like, oh, Dave, like you know me. It's like I'm in for a nice little treat. And by the 40-minute mark, nothing's happening so far. I was like, oh man, I guess Dave does like slow burns after all sometimes.
Well, I don't mind slow burns here and there. Like I said, this isn't a bad movie. It's not like I was sitting here miserable the entire time. Just felt like it was okay.
I can tell that it was made by the same person who did X, though. Because that's supposed to take place in like the 70s.
Yeah.
He has an affinity for that era.
Yeah. Yeah. Ty West, you could definitely tell in this movie that he has talent as a director.
Oh, yeah.
He's just still figuring out some things, but you could just tell in this movie, like, this director's going to go somewhere.
This was like a good audition tape to be like, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
And
kind of like Damien Leone with the first Terrifier.
Yeah, when I saw it was made in 2009, and I was like, oh, I don't know why I thought it was like newer. Maybe just because I heard the name Ty West.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, it must be relatively new. I was like, oh no, but then I dig that filter. Well, is there anything that stood out to you? We should probably do scenes, scene or kill. Well, I don't know if kill really, but scene of the movie really.
It wasn't something that stood out to me. It was just a weird stylistic choice for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Ty West has ever heard a payphone ring.
It's not
a school bell.
No,
that was the sound he used for the payphone ringer. I'm like, that's not a payphone ringer.
It's funny that you said that because when the payphone rang, I was like writing a note. I was like writing notes on my phone while I was like watching. When I heard it ring, I like had to look up for a second to make sure that was it a different scene? Like, you know how sometimes they'll put a sound, but it's like a transitioning into a scene.
Yeah.
So it's not meant for that like thing, but it's meant for the scene coming up next.
Yeah.
I thought it was that, or that because I was like, that doesn't match. I was like, that doesn't sound like that should be coming out of that.
No.
Like, yeah, you're not the only one. I thought the same thing.
But yeah, my scene of the movie was definitely Megan getting shot.
That was abrupt.
Yeah.
It's weird because, well, it's much like you when you watch enough of these things, you know when somebody's about to die because it's like, all right, you're staying on this. You're obviously lulling me into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking, Megan's a ride or die friend because she tore up all the other help wanted ads so her friend could get the job, and she was willing to stick around for her friend's sake. I bet she really wishes she didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, she really wished. You know what? Let this job go to somebody else.
Yeah.
But weirdly,
she didn't deserve her death.
No, she was awesome. She was a ride or die real friend, which should have been the real tip off that she wasn't long for this world.
Yeah.
But my favorite shot was there's a scene where Sam is like fucking around the house, like kind of exploring it, where she goes into this one room. It starts off as like a medium shot. She goes into this one room, then it goes into a zoom out of the house. So by the end, it zooms out and you see the entire house. It's just a weird artistic like shot that I just thought was like I liked. It wasn't anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything. It didn't add anything to the story. It was just sometimes I like. There's a shot that I think looks nice.
Yeah. We could all agree Ty West does have some talent at the shot.
So probably you and me are probably going to be something similar on technicals, but then it'll probably deviate after that.
Yeah.
So I put 8 for technicals.
Yeah, I went 7.5.
Yeah, I was gonna put 8.5 just because I really, but I put that towards the enjoyment. Technicals, it's shot well, and it is shot very much like how a 70s, 80s movie is shot.
Yeah.
Like lingering shots, some shots that linger a little too long on certain things. It feels like a 70s movie.
And then story, I think that's where it starts to deviate.
Yeah.
It's a basic story. It's occultists luring someone to a place to do their thing. It's not like anything special, but it's also not told in a way where you feel like it's repetitive or it's full of tropes or anything like that. So I went 6.5.
Okay. Seeing as how I guess I watch these kind of movies a little bit more than you, or enjoy them a little bit more, these slower ones, I gave it an 8.
Okay.
For a movie like this, if you like these slow kind of movies, the story, yes, is a basic one. It is like at the end of the day, it's their a cult family trying to lure teens in to kill them for a human sacrifice. Yeah. But the way that he's trying to tell the story, it's supposed to be like long bouts of nothing happening because it's supposed to keep you from going, all right, when is it going to happen?
Yeah.
And I think once that punch does happen, it does such a 180 where it's like nothing. Holy shit, she's strapped down to the floor,
yeah.
and getting blood poured down her throat. So I said 8 for story.
Okay, all right. See, I think I expected to pick up a little bit more after Megan got shot in the head, but I felt like it revved up and then went back down.
Yeah,
for another 20 minutes to pick up for the final act.
Yeah,
which is a choice that probably most people liked. Yeah, so
yeah, that's as I was watching it, and we got to Megan's deathbed. Before all that, I was like, man, because I think it was like 30 or 40 minutes where nothing was going on. I was like, all right, it's gonna be one of those. And then she got shot. It wakes you up.
Yeah.
And then it's like 10 minutes of nonsense again.
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes of nonsense again, where to me, it's perfect like that. I gave enjoyment a 9.
Yeah, like I wasn't knocking it for it. It's just not something I prefer, but I know a lot of people do, so.
It's interesting going from two vastly different, because I watched it back to back with Hell House.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you went from watching like one thing to watching a pick-me-up like Paranorman. I went from watching Hell House, this fast-paced thing, to a slow-paced movie.
Yeah. So you said enjoyment, you gave it a 9?
Yeah, I gave it a 9. I was surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did.
Like I said, I felt like it's kind of average, so enjoyment, I would give it a 6. It's not a bad movie. I wouldn't go out of my way to rewatch it, but if it's on, I'll sit down and watch, I'm
also trying to restructure the way I do, because some things where it's like 9 doesn't necessarily mean I think it's perfect or the best thing in the world, but there were some things that I think would have been a point in the story thing that I think would have been more, well, that's more like your personal preference thing. So I took a point away from story and put it in enjoyment. Yeah. And technicals and all that. It's kind of hard because my enjoyment is because of the technicals and because of the slow storytelling. So I have to kind of like take points away and whatever.
See, for me, when it comes to the enjoyment part, it's just how engaged, how enthralled am I in this movie? Mm-hmm. And is it something that I'm going to be watching with a smile on my face the entire time? My enjoyment score is purely subjective on how I felt on my viewing experience. Yeah. So I went 7.5, 6.5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So
this was just kind of like this whole episode feels like a roller coaster. It's like of didn't like, thought it was okay. I think we covered the spectrum.
Yeah. So I still gave it a 20 out of 30.
Okay.
Yeah. And what was yours? 8.5. Or was it 7.5? Or
I think
you went 8.5, 8, and 9.
Because I got the thing right here. Yeah, Technicals. I think it's 8, 8, 9.
Okay, so 25 out of 30 from you.
Yeah, surprisingly high. I mean, this is gonna fall into the category of I appreciate it, but it's kind of like The Thing where I appreciate it, but I'm probably not gonna watch it at least for another year.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's better than The Thing or as good. I think The Thing is much better, but for what it was, I appreciated the throwback, the pacing, but
yeah. So average score between the two of us, 22.5 out of 30.
And I might as well do it since I have since I have it up here. Which you said 22.5?
Yeah.
Here on the old tomato meter, critic score of 85, audience score 63. So we're kind of right in there.
Yeah, you're more towards the critic score. I'm more towards the audience score.
Yeah, which like I can understand some audiences watching and be like, yes, we get the throwback and whatever, but I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah.
That it can feel I don't know, forced or something. But
yeah.
How about I read some reviews real quick?
Okay.
Go ahead and you want to start with top or bottom?
See, usually when I do it, I just click on Rotten and I just read the bad reviews.
All right, why don't we just read the bad reviews then? All right. The atmosphere was fun and the suspense was great. All the scenes where the babysitter is just wandering the house were incredibly tense. And then it all just dissipates when the action starts because the movie has nothing really to say. The problem with it, Cole Abayas says, the problem with it, and with The House of the Devil, is that it's mostly pedestrian stuff leading to a payoff that's just not enough.
Okay, yeah.
This one probably is more up your alley. David Nusser says, there's simply never a point at which the almost distractingly uneventful narrative becomes as compelling as one might have hoped it would.
Yeah, definitely.
I've read that. I'll end on that one because that one seems to sum up your thoughts.
How I feel, yeah.
It's everything. Like I like all the setup. It just does. It's not what I thought it was going to end up being.
Yeah.
Not for everybody, which is funny because it was your choice. It's funny that it was your pick, but I enjoyed it way more than you did.
Yeah, you're welcome, Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, so now this might be our third recording, but we still have a couple more recordings for this season. But we do have to set up what is going to be our next season of Your and My Picks.
Yeah.
So we are going from. I might move some stuff around. Nope, we're going to do it this way. We're going into the season of second chances.
Okay.
Season of second chances. Basically, they have to be a movie where you didn't like it at first and you haven't seen it since, or a movie that maybe I have seen but haven't seen since. It has to be a movie where we have our thoughts made up. We haven't seen a movie in a while, but we're going to give it another chance. Now, part of me was thinking, do I go with Hereditary? Because I know that's something you and me both hate.
Yeah.
But I've only seen it the one time.
Yeah.
But I'm going with one that has been on my list for a while that I desperately want to watch because everybody else does, and that's The Lighthouse.
Okay.
I haven't seen The Lighthouse in about 3 or 4 years, whenever it came out.
I think you talked me into watching it like in the first season we were doing this.
Did I talk you into it?
Well, you're telling me about it. I was like, all right, I should probably check this out.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a second chance for me since when I saw it, it might have been a couple of years ago. I don't know, but I saw it with a group of people, my sister and my niece. We were making fun of it about halfway through. Something tells me that if I watch it on my own, I might have a different take. So next,
I don't think so.
But I guess we'll find out. That's the reason why it's called Second Chances.
Yeah.
So you have
to me watch the Lighthouse. All right.
You have Oh, that combines so much of what Dave hates. He hates black and white filter. He hates artsy, slow-paced movies. I'm trying to think. Well, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of if there's any other movies that I can think of where I hate, but maybe if I give it a second chance.
It's all right. I already got my pick.
You already got your pick? All right, yep. You don't got to tell me. I'll react when it comes time. But
all right,
you're really gonna it's gonna be something I'm gonna hate. It's like
I don't know if you'll hate it. Yeah,
you're like, I don't like the way this new season is starting off with Chris having creative control. Making us watch. So far, we've already had to watch this movie, and we're gonna be watching The Lighthouse.
Yeah,
but I'm interested in knowing what yours is. But We're getting into this to the next season. Thank you for your patronage, and thank you for your submission of something that I liked a lot more than you did.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys listening. Have a good week, everybody.
Peace. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Body Bag Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment as to what you'd like to hear us review or any horror movie topics you'd like to hear us rant and rave about.
And while you're at it, you can find us on Twitter at BodyBagPod and on Instagram at BodyBagPodcast.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time.